Navigating Modern Manhood, exploring what it means to be a father, a husband, and a man in the 21st century. Now with your hosts, Scott and David.
G'day, David. How you going?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
But I'm a bit tired, a bit exhausted, a bit fuming. I've been outside painting, so I just it's
Okay, so
a match.
navigating the home repairs or the what do we call it? DIY, do it yourself.
Yeah, that's getting stuck in with the kids and giving them a bit of practical skills with painting.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. We'll get your kids involved. Yeah, that's certainly helpful, isn't it? So welcome to episode 11. This is exciting.
Exciting time, yeah.
And we have a guest today, which I'm really looking forward to hearing about. Someone that you've met, Scott, recently. So tell us a bit about our guest.
Yeah, I met our guest, Goran Klobučar. I hope I've said it right. At Toastmasters here in Slovenia. And
Okay.
I know you've been in Toastmasters for quite a while, and jumped in, met him, and actually on his icebreaker conversation, he started talking about mindset, and I think that's really important for everybody, not just modern men, but modern people, in the value of mindset. And I actually jumped on to one of his free webinars on Thursday night and had a good listen and listened to the knowledge and wisdom that he was sharing. And I thought, why not? He's a good man. He's got some great information, and I think he needs to share it with the world. So why not get him on and have a chat?
Great. Well, as we know, as if you've been watching, this channel is about speaking to modern men, people who have a different perspective and can kind of help us define what it is to be a modern man. Cool. So let's bring on Goran.
Yeah.
Hi. Good afternoon, Goran.
Hello. Hi.
Thanks
Hi, David.
for
Hi, Scott.
Good
Yes.
Hopefully I pronounced your name right.
Sorry?
Hopefully I pronounced your name right.
Oh, yes. It was great, Scott. Great. Yes.
Awesome.
Great. Thank you.
Right. So as you know, we talk about navigating modern manhood, and we just like to ask you, as we ask all our guests, what's your definition of a modern man in today's world?
Oh, great. Okay. A modern man. Okay. This is an interesting topic. I already had one post, about how should men be, but I didn't use really the label like a modern, For me, I think that I'm more related to be an awakened man,
Yeah.
This is something maybe it's more, for me, because I went through really this great transformation. It started about 3.5 years ago. And I really, I see that now how an awakened people, they, from my point of view and my experience, there is, this real, deep reliance to life. What really life can give you. But you first have to be, you have to see it, you have to be awakened. And this is maybe just for the beginning to start to say, but I wouldn't be saying the modern man, but an awakened man. So so maybe about how I feel, to be an awakened man, because I feel that I am one of them. I see that how important is that to know yourself. This was one of my greatest challenges that I had during my transformation, is to really know myself, what I really am, who I am, or what I'm doing here. What is my purpose? What is my life mission? And I'm really lucky that I got to this answer. I really, as I said, it took me a few years to get there, but now I know what I'm doing here, who I am, and this is, I think it's really a great experience for everybody, for not just a man, or also for women. There's really to be an awakened and to really be connected to ourselves. So maybe just a few words how I felt before this transformation. I know that a lot of men who listen this, or I think that they are this conditioned about how to be a man.
Yeah.
That like a real man It's like you don't show your emotions, and you don't cry. You are tough, you are strong. You can face with everything that life throws at you. Nothing can hurt you, and you never need any help. You can do all by yourself. This is how I saw to be like a real man. But
Yeah.
this
This was
is
prior to your awakening.
yeah, but this
Yeah.
is far, far, far from that. Far, far from that.
Yeah.
Uh, because this real strength and really this bravery doesn't come from this outer narrative, from these social norms that I can may say. But this bravery and this comes from within, and
Yeah.
this is then the real awakened man that then comes to up. It's really born from within you.
Mm.
Yeah.
And to be brave, you have to face yourself, and to be brave, you have to say this out loud. You don't have to be you mustn't be scared to say it how you feel. You have to accept yourself, who you really are. And so real men, as I say, awakened men, they show their true face, you know and they show their vulnerability. This is important, and I think that when you're vulnerable, then you show your real bravery.
Yeah.
Because I know how it was before. I was so ashamed, of myself, of telling the truth, how I feel, how I felt, and I was ashamed to express my real feelings about myself. Now, this is something that for me it's common. This is the way I talk to people. I have this saying, um, I'm totally naked when I talk to people.
Yeah.
And this is true. I am naked totally. You see, what you see, this is what I am. And what I'm talking to you, it's straight from my heart. It's not fake.
Yeah. And how cool is that? Like, just I'm going to jump on that totally naked. When everybody goes, yeah, you're just going to do some public speaking and you might feel a bit anxious and are a bit scared about it. Just picture everybody naked. It's like, well, that is it. Like, that's true vulnerability, is that if you're naked and you're being your true self, then you're allowing
Yeah,
everybody in, and that creates the connection not only to yourself but to everybody else.
yeah,
So that's great. I'm sorry, I just wanted to jump in on that
yeah,
one.
yeah. Great, of course. Yeah.
I
Um,
also don't know if you've ever seen there's a parody series on TikTok where there's a guy, he's like a big beefy guy, and his whole thing is be a man. And I think he's showing light to all of these things you say, Goran, this lack of vulnerability, this lack of strength.
mhm.
He'll say short clip saying, you can't fix the fridge with a spanner, throw it across the room in anger, be a man. And all
Yeah,
of his catch lines are like one or two phrases that just show, I think, anyone who's watching with an awakened spirit that, yeah, like getting angry at Scott was painting before, he said. So
yeah,
okay, something happens. Do you fly off the handle and smack the paint can and put stuff everywhere? Or can you work with your emotions? Can you work with something and move in a different direction? So an awakened man, I honestly hope it's a parody, because they show so many different scenarios, and then and maybe they're making a comment on what manhood was, but of course they don't at the same time provide the other side. So
mhm.
can't fix the fridge with your spanner, put the spanner down, talk to someone, be a man.
Yeah,
There's not the flip side yet. So maybe we ought to create a TikTok channel where we have be an awakened man, on the
yeah,
flip side. But yeah,
yeah.
you
Great.
really shine a light on knowing a bit more about yourself. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
I think that's
I
really cool. Like, if I could summarize sort
yeah,
of what, in short, that David put a nice little tagline down the bottom, but I think your definition of a modern man is an awakened man who's connected to
yeah,
self. And
yeah.
the responsibility of an awakened man who's connected to self is to break those historical traditional norms and discover
Hmm.
who he is along the way, along the path. Like, there's no set definition. I like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's also one other thing. When you're awakened, you also take responsibility for your life. this was also one of my lessons. Before I was just accusing everybody for everything that was not okay with my life. But now I just take it all in my hands, and it just I'm now me. I'm now this action figure for me. I am the hero for me, and this is. But there is also another thing. When you are awakened, then you influence also others around you.
100%.
And I can here say a lot of how now I have the relationship with my children. Before I was just there. Okay, I was there like a father, but I was not living like a father. I was not their father figure for them. Because I was struggling with myself, with my inner world. My inner world was in a war, a deep, great war. And if you are at a war in yourself, you cannot be at peace in the outside. And people can feel this, especially your children.
Yeah.
And now when we have a conversation now, this is totally in a different level. And this is also that I'm grateful that I went through everything this that happened to me. Maybe I didn't mention what happened. Yeah, most of my life I really was stuck. I didn't really know what I wanted in life. So I was really struggling with myself because I had a really so low self-esteem, so low self-worth, and of course everything that because of who I was affected others, also the family. And when I wanted to make some differences, but my mind didn't let me. I was this awareness was on the different level that it is now. So I really was stuck. But then life made this step for me and with a divorce. So it wasn't really a nice step. Really, it was a hard. But now when I look at it now back, I see that it was it meant to happen, because
Yeah.
that's changed me.
You embrace the change.
Yeah, it changed me. Even though I thought that this will be the end of my living, really existence, I was really I really had this codependent relationship with my wife, and it was not really healthy one. And then when I started to discover myself, I also took help, first with therapists, and then also I had two coaches. And yes, when you're want to make this difference, or when you really are ready, because if you are not ready, nobody can help you, because you have to do the work for yourself. Nobody can do it for you. So it all just went in the direction that it was good for me, but at first it looked like a disaster. But now, as I said, if I look it back, um, I can I can really say that I'm grateful that everything happened, because now I really am the person that I really wanted to be, and I can share this with people. I have this mission that I really want to help people to also awaken, and to finally start living as they deserve.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So
Yeah,
it's like the person you were looking for your entire life was actually
yeah,
you, and you gave yourself
yeah,
permission to go for it.
exactly.
Yeah.
But now that you mentioned, I also discovered this, through my transformation. We already have this within us, but
100%.
we are born, and then during our childhood, and maybe also later, we then get polluted and dirty with all this conditioning and limiting beliefs and everything, and then this is under us in the pile of dirt. Then we have to shovel everything away, and then this is really great thing. When you start working on yourself, this really shoveling away this dirt, you start to feel better. You start to see this as they say, these diamonds become when they're under big pressure. And this is also the same with people. So it's really it was really great. It was like an adventure for me. It still is ongoing, because this personal development is now my lifestyle, and it's really great, because I now can maybe see, I have more insight about how people really work, how their mind works, because I experienced it in my own journey.
Yeah.
So
You get to liberate yourself through the process of personal development, which is brilliant.
yeah,
And I completely agree with that. You feel lighter as you go through, and you shuffle
yeah,
through the garbage and find that golden nugget.
yeah,
And then you get to
yeah,
work on it and release it. And if you give
yes,
yourself the permission to do that, that's amazing. And the feelings are unrivaled. So
yeah.
you're a mindset coach. Along the way, we said that an awakened man has got that responsibility. Tell us how that mindset, working with your mindset, creates that duty of care to inspire others as well. And you inspire through your actions. So tell us the importance of mindset through your eyes, please.
Okay. So first, I just have to say this, and I always repeat this, that our mindset really determines the quality of our life. So our quality of our mindset determines the quality of our life. So the our life is really totally dependent of our mindset, because our mindset is our lens, our filter through which we see and perceive the world around us. And what is really interesting is when you are, this is also from my experiences, how is when you are in these situations, or when you were before struggling, when you saw this like a negative situation for you. Now after I changed my mindset, I see now a new perspective, on the same situation as it was before, and now I see it more and more positive. And this is why changing the mindset is also, as I said, mentioned, it's change your world, your perception of the world. And why I became a mindset coach, because I see that everything starts within you. Everything, when you change your inside, your outside also changes. So when you want to change something in your life, you first have to go within you and start working there, and this is all connected, of course, to your mindset. And what really is important that here is that we all have, as I mentioned before, we all have this conditioning and limiting beliefs that we really, I mean, these limiting beliefs are our decisions that we made during our childhood, how we are, who we are, how to live, how to behave. But this was really not our beliefs, but for our parents and family and others who influence on us. So this means that we are living, in in kind of not really our real life. We are living based on these limiting beliefs that are really not ours. And that means that when you are maybe communicating with somebody else, when you're talking to them and when you react to them, it's not really 100% your reaction, because you are conditioned. And then you see, and as I said, you have this filter which was set for you. It's not that you set it, but now, but this is also important. I also found this out, that awareness is here important. That you have to be aware that what you are feeling and your thoughts are really not your own thoughts, your original thoughts. So if you're aware of this, then you can go deeper and see where this stemmed from, and then you can really go to this root of the beliefs that are really were set for you, and go and face with them. And then you see how many things for me also really how really I was living in this. I can also say the film that was filmed for me, but it wasn't really good for me, because this character that I really was really a fake one.
Yeah.
So it's really it's not so easy, everything. It's really it's hard work. It's really hard work. You have to be really persistent, and you have to have also support, and this is also
100%.
great.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And I think when you're digging down as well and you're finding those patterns and you're using your mind to figure out what's going on, I'm going to throw it to David here. That's where emotions are so important. And both David and I, we dive in with 6 Seconds Europe through emotional intelligence. And David's kind of a guru on that. He's my go-to man for emotional intelligence. So just diving on and following in with what Goran's saying, David, how important is it to link it in with emotions?
Well, I mean, it sounds like there's plenty of emotional work happening in a transformation, as you said, Goran. And I like what you said too about finding the patterns or the film, as you described it, with previous people. I mean, emotions are at the center of everything that we do. Emotions drive people, and people drive performance. So, therefore, all of our actions, as you said, are driven from an emotional state somewhere in our past, somewhere that says, are we moving towards safety or threat ultimately? And so perhaps recognizing those aspects that we hold on as a threat to us because of a figure in life. What I wanted to ask you, it occurs to me, and just to dive a bit deeper there, is maybe there's a connection with emotion here too, but how would you describe, without naming names, but how would you describe some of the male role models or figures in your life before your transformation? As you said, you're a different father to your children now than you were beforehand. But if we think about it as patterns, what were your male role models like growing up, for instance? You mentioned the dirt. I love that idea, the diamond, but you had dirt thrown on in your film, to use your metaphors. But how would you describe some of them?
I have to say that unfortunately I didn't have any male really as you said figures, because I have of course I had a father, but for my I can say unfortunately, or also because of my I want to just say this, that in your childhood, everyone's childhood is supposed to be like it is, because then you have all the things that you need to work out later. This is just like a quick. So I had a father, but he wasn't like a real, he didn't taught me, or he wasn't my role model, like to be really a father figure. No, because I can say that I was raised by my mother. And because of this, of course, I was really lacking this, how to really be a man. This was really struggle for me, and also in my relationship. Then later with of course with women, and also then with my wife, I was lost. I didn't have this really opportunity to really have to see how a man reacts, or how a man thinks and everything. No, because my father was just he was just he was there for me. I really loved him, of course, as a kid. But if I can compare myself now with I have one son and two daughters. My relationship now with my son, we talk about sport, we go out and play together. We have this relationship, and he can see, how a father takes care of his life. Because my real father, I think that he was like, I don't know what is the word here, but he was in a lot of influences under his mother, and also his wife, and also I think also his stepsister. So he was. I know that he was also struggling. Now I know. Before I didn't know, but now I know. So I also see, because of this, he wasn't. He couldn't be like a real father for me, like this real father. But now, during this transformation, I built myself. I built myself like a man. I discovered it within me, because again it was there, but there was nobody to trigger me, to really see this is like how to be a man, how to really take care of their family. So yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
I think that this is it, or
No, it's
yeah,
the answer. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
brilliant. And I think
Okay.
if I've got it right, it's Brene Brown that says we're all victims of victims in our mindset as growing up. So our parents were victims of their parents' behaviors,
Yes.
and their
Yes.
parents were victims of their parents'
Yeah.
behaviors.
Yeah.
And listening to you talk about that is you've changed your mindset from being the victim to being the creator.
Yeah.
So you're not the bully or anything else like that. You're not the polar opposite of a victim, but you're like, I'm no longer looking at myself as a victim. I've been given everything through my childhood upbringing of what I need to go through and work on that I can be and create who I want to be. So I think that's really important, and it's a great change in your mindset.
Yeah.
I'm sure many men are struggling with that. Scott and I belong to an academy where our mentor talks about breaking the cycle. So you're not passing on to your son and daughters what you received, but you've done the work to kind of put a pause on the things that don't serve you. So removing that dirt to bring through the nugget, as Scott said, now for your kids so that they get a different experience. And I think that's true for every one of our generation, that we have elements that were really missing in our childhoods and experiences. And it might be other, as I said, role models. So, I went to an all boys school where I had certainly teachers, and I even recognized the other day, because I've taken up trumpet again, my brass teacher, a woman, but was an absolute person who saw me for me and allowed me to grow and develop, yes, through trumpet, but not because she was pushing me to be an instrumentalist, but because she could see that it was something I really enjoyed, that I got a lot of value out of, and she really inspired me to do it. And now I'm playing trumpet and flugelhorn and all that business again, and my son wants to play tuba. So I feel a sense of gratitude that he's picked an instrument that's also a brass instrument, and he's also really good at it. Do you know what I mean? So I can nurture him as I can, and he's got a great teacher. So that's another figure for him to really, another man, to inspire him in his development. And I think we all need that. And we need, as men of our generation, this is why this podcast and video series is so important, to help men now, fathers, to kind of deal with the past, but to focus on the future as well. And it sounds to me from your work like mindset is a key kind of factor in that.
Yeah, I agree. And also here is what also is important. We as a man, as I also was like this, I think it's even more serious way that we don't talk too much, about this. We don't communicate. But now I see that this is the most important one. This is the crucial thing, that you talk about it. And for this, you need a safe place, because you must be around with the people who won't judge you for who you are, and this is important, maybe, to have like these podcasts, and also maybe any others groups of men, when we can sit together and talk openly about our struggling, about how we think about who we are, and then we can talk about it, and see other perceptions, perspective about how you should react, like not just like a man, but like a human, awakened human. And also there is also one very crucial thing, as I mentioned the communication, but also in the relationship with women, that we this was one really great thing for me, some crucial thing, and it was like an epiphany for me to set boundaries. I was just a big people pleaser, and not just a big people pleaser, also I said everything that my wife said. I just nodded. I never had the word, my voice. I never had my voice in my marriage. And this was also, this was hurting me, of course, in subconscious level, if not also in my mind. But this is what is important, that when you set boundaries, when you respect yourself of who you are, you also show the respect for others. This all stem from your self-love. When you love yourself, you respect yourself, you set boundaries, and this also affects the others, and if you don't have any boundaries, then you are all over the place, and then everybody can step on over you, and this is also one important thing for men, to start setting boundaries.
100%. This is one of the things I was discussing with my wife, Jasmina, was that with the kids, same thing around the sort of mindset and boundaries, is we want to give them boundaries. We don't want to change their personality. We want them to be who they are and discover who they are.
Yeah.
We want to give them boundaries, like a guideline, like lanes, traffic lanes, and then say, okay, this is where you're allowed to be in this point in time. As you get older, the lanes are going to widen up. You have more responsibility to take on yourself, but go on and explore and have your personality. So our youngest is really quite emotional. The eldest holds a lot in, and he's very calculating. He's quite the opposite. The other one just blurts everything out. The other one holds it in, calculates, and then takes his actions. And it's like, we're not going to tell either of them one's better or worse. They're both independent. They're both different people, and they'll discover who they are. It's just, here are some boundaries so that we have respect and responsibility within our family and between ourselves, within our relationships, that we can get along. And exactly that. If we can't love ourselves, we can't love others, because we can't give to others what we can't give to ourselves.
Yes. Can I just say one sentence here? I think it's very important. I also wrote a post for the next week, and it's one statement. It's about boundaries, and I really like it. It says boundaries are the distance at which I can love you and me simultaneously.
Awesome.
I think this says it all. What are we? How important are boundaries, and why are they there for? Yeah.
That's beautiful. So, it's quite deep when you go into it on a deeper level. That's
but it is. It's great.
Yeah. So I noticed on your banner there, you're also an author, and you did mention it before that you've written a book and it's coming out towards the end of the year. Is that right?
I hope it will be till the around June or July. Yeah.
Yeah. Give us a bit of info. Give yourself a plug for the book. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. This is it's a special book. It's an illustrative book for adults. The title is "Why Am I the Way I Am?" And this is also, I can say it's the content. It's also a part of me, of course. It's not everything, but there is a lot of me in this book. And the book is, I wanted to show with the book, it's really how, in really a plastic way, so it's simple and plastic way, how we really are, why we really are the way we are, I also found this really great illustrator, and with this book, I just want to. It's one part of the awakening, that when you really realize how you really get this conditioning and these limiting beliefs from your childhood, and how your parents, they really write in your book of life. This will be also the main stream of the book, is your book of life. Everybody who we are born, and then we get this book of life. But this book of life is mentioned for us to written in it. But at first, parents are writing in it, and because this book of life, we are reading this every day. Then it's this book of life is our subconscious, and then because of this, we then are conditioned with this what parents are writing in it. But then after this, of course, awakening, after transformation, then you can grab your pen and start writing your story, your beliefs, your life in it. And then the book of life really gets the real meaning, to be your book of life. But the reality is different, and just want to show this through this illustrative book, how important it is that we awaken, and to really take the steering wheel of our life in our hands. Yeah.
So true. And that's where getting support and help as well is so important. Like as you said, you got therapy, and then you had two coaches to get along.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I love that because that's similar to a movie that we watched with the kids on Netflix. It's called Monkey King, and the whole way through it, it's quite mentioned quite a few times. Is your scroll's yet to be written, so continue writing your scroll. So it's like, yes, you've got your history and it's all recorded, but you're in power and you can create and write what you want.
Yeah.
And it is about awakening. Like the main character, the Monkey King, it's all about his awakening journey. But it was actually his help, his aid. It was her awakening journey at the same time, and they were inspiring each other and walking a similar path in terms of awareness, but completely different in how they were changing.
Amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
Great.
So do you have any last advice for us, Goran? Any final thoughts or a quote? I mean, you've given us so much already, but it's hard to, we'll have to watch back on this episode, and we encourage everyone to do so. But I'd love to hear just some final words and maybe how people can connect with you.
Yeah, I know final words are really that you really have to, be aware how important your mindset is. You really need to be aware that where you are now in your life, it's not the end state. It's not that when something is bothering you, or that you are not pleased with where you are now. It can be in every area of life, because everything it stems from you. So don't complain, and don't be this in this bad struggling situation, because there is a way. There is a way. If not, just if of course, if you can do it by yourself, because I know it's hard. Get help, because getting help, it's not a sign of weakness, but it's a great sign of bravery. And it's so worth it. It's so worth it every second that also I took this help. Every second and every penny, it's worth it, because it's the best investment. And the best investment is the best investment in yourself.
100%. I agree with that.
So never give up on yourself, because there is a way. Because every struggle is just a tunnel. So that means that there is a way out. There is a light in the tunnel.
Yeah.
I went through a very dark tunnel, but there was a light. There was a light in it in the end, and I went through. So every struggle, as I see it now, it's really a gift for us. That it's really a portal for level up. So don't just give in and say, okay, this is it, and I can do nothing with my life. You can. So as a mindset coach, yes, I also can support you with my program. In my program, I also have these tools that we can go and see your beliefs, your limiting beliefs. I use CBT tools, and you can go and face with your beliefs, and to shift from negative to positive ones. If you want to contact me, you can go to my LinkedIn page, or you can write me to my email. I just know how can I put here my email here? I can
send it to me in the chat, and I'll grab it and pop it on screen as Scott can wind things up for us.
How can I
add it to the
chat? Down. Okay, no, I see. Sorry, because there was something.
No worries. So Scott.
Yeah, no, it's cool, and I really appreciate your time, Goran, and sharing your knowledge and wisdom with us. And I agree with you, part of your final statement there, that every challenge here is presenting us an opportunity to level up, and that's all that we can strive to be. And if we want to release that person that we've been looking for our entire life, which is within ourselves, they're the challenges we have to go through. So really appreciate your time, and thank you for your knowledge and wisdom with us. And if anybody wants to get in touch with Goran and have some mindset coaching and motivation, get on to him and on LinkedIn, or there's his email there, Goran@goranmindsetpower.com.
Goran KMindsetPower.com.
Yes.
Just make sure you have the K there, Scott. There could be another Goran with mindset power in the world somewhere. That's great. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much for inviting me, Scott and David. It was really great to talk to you. So I'm looking forward to meet you again.
Yeah, let's stay. And let us know when your book comes out. Maybe come back on and we can plug that
great.
for you as well.
Yes.
Cheers.
I would love this. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, Scott.
So, Scott, what an amazing episode. What are your highlights and takeaways?
Oh, there's plenty. I'm just buzzing. And I think the main one is you can. You know, he said it right there at the end. No matter what comes your way, know that you can. So have that trust and self-belief within yourself that no matter how dark the tunnel seems or how far under the mud that you think you are, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. And these challenges are here for you to level up. So I think it's brilliant. And again, another person is like, it's not really defined, but absolutely an awakened person is a modern man. And I think that
a few more clues there as to our modern man, which is good. And I particularly liked his idea of the book of life. When we think of it like where's my journal here? We've got this big journal or thick book, and people, those guest books that you sign when you visit somewhere. And so you have people filling in your book. But of course, at some point, it's your book. And then you start to write in your book. And then you might even recognize what was in the past, what others have written, those family figures, those male figures that we've all been handed, perhaps where there were bits missing, good bits, but other bits missing. And so we have the responsibility now to fulfill those for ourselves, and then to write in the book of our children or of grandchildren eventually, or others who we serve and help, to write in their book in such a different way. I really like that metaphor.
Yeah, and the key thing that he added to that as well was that boundaries. With firm boundaries and firm consequences, you can actually you get to control who's allowed to influence what you write in your book.
Yeah, great.
You can pick and choose as you will. And I love this quote. I couldn't quite remember it 100%, but I think it was, my boundaries allow you to where you're allowed to be, but it allows me to come and meet you where I can.
Yeah,
that's brilliant. It's certainly something that we can all take, and work with that. So
brilliant. Yeah. Well, episode number 11. Thanks to those who have been watching to this point for sticking with us and to checking in to this recording. And we look forward to bringing you more. We've got more men lined up. I hope to get in touch very soon with my friend Justin, who I'd like to invite on here. So stay tuned, and we'll stay connected. Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you enjoyed the episode, just give us a like on the podcast or on the YouTube channel, and please subscribe. The more people subscribe, the more we get out there and we get to share this knowledge and wisdom with others. So thank you, and have a great rest of the evening, David. Appreciate it.
You too. Thanks, Scott. Cheers. This has been another episode of Modern Manhood. And if you've enjoyed this episode, please click to subscribe and make sure you stay connected. We are navigating modern manhood. Join Scott and David next time.